All right, we're here with Mr. Viva himself, Fastoolie. How we doing, brother?
How you doing, boys? How are you?
Good to
Good,
have
man.
you,
Good.
man. Good to have you.
Thanks
That
for having me.
smile, that smile just warms my heart right
You
away.
guys just got a little bit of teeth. That's like not a. That's pretty hard to
I
do.
know.
It is. It's tough.
Before we start, Frankie just said this is the ugliest hat ever. For the viewers watching, I hate to say, but it's the most beautiful hat ever. Continue.
Yeah, if you say so. I
8
got the
minutes, 13
prettiest shirt.
seconds. Cut.
Shout out Mincy,
Yeah.
baby.
Welcome back, Mincy.
Welcome back to King.
Yeah, oh yeah. King of the South is back.
We were just kind of talking before we started recording here, and it kind of occurred to me, you've been working with John Rich, which is awesome, and I realized you two were big stoolies before becoming employees. So I realized not just the fact that you guys work well together and whatever, like you really like ride or die for this company, which is awesome.
Yep.
So did that kind of bring you guys together, the fact that you're both like stoolies and then you both got jobs,
100%. I mean, I was one of the camera guys during Barstool Idol, and that was John's like make it or break it. I actually worked with John during Barstool Idol. If you go back to it, it was I'm pretty sure it was me, John, Caroline, and someone else when we did the music video during their Idol week, and I was filming. I helped edit with them and everything. But it comes from a long time. I mean, I found Barstool back when I was 12 years old. I mean, that's just fucking Boston though. Like that was everything every kid found.
Well, going into that, I kind of was going to ask as well, like what got you, what created the Viva that you just, sprout on everybody now? Like you got it on your thigh. Like what got Fasoli into Barstool?
Guess that ass.
That was it.
I was no joke. I swear to God, I was in the 8th grade, 13. Actually, I was 13, but that was 2013, 2012. And I was in like, I forget what class I was in, but I was just on my Google Chromebook. And I was just like on the internet, and I saw "Guess That Ass," and I was just enticed by it. And I click on it, and then I start reading it, and then I mean, I could have probably gotten fucking big trouble for that on my school laptop, but it was funny as shit. And then I started this is way back then, but I went home and then I started following and I started watching on YouTube on my Kindle Fire.
Okay,
that's
I mean, you guys,
yeah. Frankie, I know you're a little older than me, but Kindle Fires, that was like my teenage years. Like that was like,
I was like, dude, that's a throwback. That's why I was like, wow.
The first time I listened to Black and Yellow by
Wiz baby.
That was on my Kindle Fire.
Oh, no way.
That's right when the song came out.
Yeah, see, so he's a Pittsburgh fan at heart, and don't mind the hat. I get it.
Yeah, shout out Black and Yellow.
Mr. Viva himself. So like, when did you get the tattoo? Was it when you got hired?
So I was hired in full time in October 21. I worked as an intern from end of May, so June 1. I moved to New York in the end of May, and then I was there June 1 through basically October, and I was an intern. But before that, I worked for Barstool for free since 2018, the fall of 2018. I was a Viceroy. Shout out the Viceroy gang. Everyone is huge out there. And I was running socials for free, just like a college kid trying to make it. And then throughout 2 years, I did that. I grew my small Division II at the time college account from barely 1,000 followers all the way to 10K. And then my junior year, that was like right while COVID was happening in college. The spring beforehand, when we got sent home for COVID in 2020, spring of 2020, it was the end of my sophomore year. This was before the gambling, before anything. I kind of tweeted about this a couple weeks back, but I restarted Barstool Boston. And I went around the city of Boston giving out Barstool store gift cards. I bought $250 worth of my own money as a broke college kid. And I was going around the city of Boston just saying, if you follow, I'll give you a gift card. This and that, and like getting everyone on social media. I was tagging them, posting them to the story, saying, follow Barstool Boston, XYZ. Like, I wanted Barstool to come back more than anything. This was before the gambling took off, anything. And
You
I
said
started that.
2018 this was?
This was 2018. So like this was before the
Damn.
city accounts
This is
really
years
popped
before
off.
you even got hired, bro. This is like, that's a grind, brother. Hell yeah.
Yeah. And so this was before Barstool Boston, Barstool Philly, everything. The city accounts haven't even taken off yet. And Barstool Philly was like up there. It was me and them. And we both had about 5,000 followers, but like this was just kind of like doing it for the love of the game. And they made the city accounts, and Barstool Philly was the first one to go because they started getting huge. They got like to 50K over like night. They just had like this random video pop off. And then I was already at like 15,000. And I got like a DM, and it was from Gaz. And Gaz was like, "Who is this? Who is this? Sorry, that was aggressive." He said, "Who runs this account?" Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, "Oh, it's Fasoli." And
Who the fuck is this?
yeah, I said, "Oh, it's Fasoli." And by that time, I was an intern already in New York. So like,
Okay.
this is a progression of 3 years. Like,
Yeah.
I've grown that account to almost 15, 16,000 by myself, still running it while I'm doing my production internship, whatever. And I DM him, I said, "It's Fasoli." And he goes, "Great." And then he texts me, and he was like, "We're starting the city program, blah, 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 like everything like that." And he was like, "Would you mind like keeping doing this and stuff like that?" Like, and I was like, "Absolutely. I mean, I love doing this. I've done it for 2.5 years already for free." And I continue doing it and whatever. I still do it to this day. I'm more of an overseer now, and I have a great team under me. These guys are some of the best social media handlers out there. But so I've kind of worked all over the board. Like I mean, at Barstool they say like be the 5-tool player. Like I do it all. I mean, I do social, video. I was trained in video. Like that's where I went to college for. That's what I worked when I worked for the Celtics. I did that. When I worked at NASCAR, I did that. And then Barstool finally picked me up. But I did it at my college. I ran my Division I athletics program video department. So it's always been the dream to be here for it.
That's
Right. And
that's
I
incredible.
was going to ask you too, because obviously, you know, your videos are unbelievable. Like the drone stuff and everything, the shots, they're really great.
Mhm.
And like I didn't really know your past, so I was going to ask you, like, what did you work for prior to Barstool? So can you just go into a little, you just mentioned that, but can you go into a little bit more of what you did for that? Yeah.
Yeah. So in my freshman year of 2018, when I was at Merrimack College, out in North Andover, Mass, I was working for a small production company based out of North Andover, and I was basically shooting Division I high school football, duh. And I was shooting the games, going on Fridays, Saturdays, whenever the games happen, and then editing highlight tapes. Then that turned into going from that to working for my college, and then that turned into working for the college, going to work for the Celtics, and I was at NBC Sports Boston, and I did that for about 9-10 months, and then I actually got laid off from them. I was just an intern, but I got laid off from them when the whole COVID thing happened, when NBC laid off like 50 plus people. And then after NBC, I went back to my college. I did a lot more with the athletic department, and I was really like, that's when I really ramped up. And then
So you were running Barstool Boston during all of this then?
Yeah, Barstool Boston
Yeah.
and Barstool Merrimack.
Wow.
I was doing
That's
2
awesome.
accounts.
Right.
Nice.
So 2 social accounts, all my internships. I did my college's like TV. It was like MCTV, and that's a real MCTV. I love Merrimack College. That was a real reason why I got hired, because what you guys are doing here, I didn't do the breakdown, but I recreated the rundown, and I did 65 episodes of the Warrior rundown, because Merrimack is the Merrimack Warriors. And I recreated the rundown. I created all the graphics, shot all the video. I did everything, just like the regular Barstool rundown. And when you come into Barstool as a video editor or even a producer, they make you do an edit test. And that's to see like if you can edit the way that is meant for Barstool. I didn't have to do that because I recreated the flagship show of the company.
Yeah, the proof was out there.
Yeah, I did 65 episodes.
Yeah,
On top
yeah.
of all the other video shit I did for the Celtics, for NASCAR at the time, XYZ.
That's incredible stuff. I can truly appreciate that grind, because even though we're like only 3-4 episodes deep,
Yeah,
like running 2 accounts it's work. It's, I
Dude.
mean, like on the road all the time, you're like trying to figure out what should I tweet out. You got to make the clips beforehand, clip them and then decide when to tweet them out and stuff like that. I mean, it's a true grind. So I respect what you've done for sure to get where you are. Yeah. So going into where you are now, I mean, we see Fasoli get some love on the yak and all that. We see him, the grin all over social media. But what is the favorite project that you currently work on?
The favorite.
Yeah, do you have one, or is it just you just so Viva that you love
say
them all?
Everything? Yeah, no way he's giving an answer.
The issue is with us. I mean, it's not an issue, but the thing that we do at Barstool, obviously, like in my industry, like people are supposed to create like a reel, it's called, and that displays all your work.
Right.
At Barstool, we do so much every week, every day, everything. I could have made 19 hypothetically 20 different reels in the span of almost, I'm coming on 2 years now full time, but going on 2.5 full time / internship. I could have made dozens.
Right.
I mean, we're on season 3, going on season 4, rediscovering America. I've traveled the US. I've been to 20 plus different states I never thought I'd been to. I mean, Alaska, like my drone footage from Alaska was unbelievable. Like I'm not even trying to like hype myself up. I'm just saying like, it's like very,
it was
thank
insane.
you. No, I appreciate that. But it's like very, like, I was very lucky to be there, be a part of that and get to fly my drone even there. I never thought I'd go to Alaska in my lifetime. This
is why I admire you so much, Fasoli, because not only do you like just love the company you work for, but you truly appreciate the moments that you, and that's truly admirable. And I love that because you're just, it's like, I'm getting to do all of this because of the blessing that is Barstool Sports. And
100%.
that's awesome stuff. I mean, as a stoolie, you're giving me chills over here. I love that. So going back to Alaska, there was a text you got. There was a text you got in Alaska. Let me hear your side of the Donnie text.
So a lot of the Fastoli stories, they don't get told from the POV. They get told from the Donnie, the Nick, the KB, the John Rich, everyone who works with me. They see that side. So it's like, yeah, I'm a fucking idiot sometimes, and I mean, I'm Viva brain, so like when I'm doing shit, I'm just laser focused. But no joke, when I was like typing that text message, I was like, my world was red. And the issue was like I looked up this woman, saw that she was a real writer for the Cape Cod Times, XYZ, and I was furious. And not even thinking like the fall of hometown heroes, like that's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. But when I got that text message, my drone at the time, I had to like, my controller had to plug into my phone, so my phone was my drone screen.
Okay.
I have different drones now, but like that was like my setup. And I get this text message from a random number, and like obviously you get the random spam, this, that, whatever. This thing is like name dropping me, my town, where I'm from, like
failed drone pilot.
Yeah. So obviously, like I'm enraged, so I don't read clearly, and I don't read clearly ever because I suck at English, and I was never good at any of that shit. I was a creative from day one. Shout out Lincoln Logs. But I saw this pop up. I'm no joke. My drone's probably 200 feet up in the air, and I'm flying around the Alaska in that little town with 300 people that we put in the video, and I'm like shooting like B-roll and stuff, and I like kind of pause, and my drone's hovering, and I'm like trying to read. I'm like, what the fuck? And then like I bring my drone down, I bring it in, and then I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then I walk back to the car, and I'm like, that's when like the message you guys see was the message to my dad. And it was like in my like group chat with my dad and my mom, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, who's like calling me right now and like trying to hit me up and like trash me? Like, I worked my dick off to be where I'm at right now in life.
Yeah, for real.
Literally, like no joke. Like I told you guys what I used to do. I used to go from the Celtics I either worked 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. or I worked 6 p.m. to 3 in the morning for game day. And then I would come back, I would do my homework, wake up for my 8 a.m., go to class, go shoot all day for Merrimack, run Barstool Merrimack and Barstool Boston, content search, post, everything. And then do it all over again and go back to the Celtics. Or go back to NASCAR and I was doing that's how I met Spider. I was doing during COVID, at the end of COVID, that's when I was with NASCAR. It was kind of still COVID-y times, that it was almost 2021, but it was like the fall going into the winter. And I was with NASCAR doing iRacing in NASCAR. And I was doing the iRacing live streams. I was flying the drones. I was doing replays, audio tech, a lot of back-end production stuff. And that's what Barstool liked about me, because I could pick up a camera, I could edit, I could do the control room, I could do everything. Like, I just knew a lot of different sides of production from my skills. And that's where I met Spider for the first time, though, because I think we brought him on to one of our streams, because that's when the office in New York got that big rig. Mm-hmm. If you guys remember seeing that, like from Rubbin' is Racing or whatever.
Yeah.
And they had the big eSIM rig. That was my company. That's who I was working for.
Do you think that you're going to be working with any NASCAR stuff in the future because of that, or do you want to kind of stay away because you already had done that stuff?
So what's funny is, like, I've gone to, I think, 3 or 4 NASCAR events already, because we are partners with NASCAR, and NASCAR is amazing.
Right.
I never really appreciated it when I was doing like the back end stuff, but we were doing like the game version, like the simulation. But I went to Talladega. I've been to a couple other events, but it's like, it is like the nicest fucking people in the world. Everyone's there just has a good time. And it's just like, actually seeing the cars in motion was unbelievable. Like, it's life-changing. I mean, people who go to Talladega and go to all these events, they say that. Like, they say it's like some of their favorite shit in the world to do.
You see some of those clips too with Large and Spider, and like when they were just with Dale Jr., and like they've actually helped grow the sport. And that's 100%. Some of the cool stuff. Like, you also see with Foreplay, like Foreplay helps grow the game of golf and like give it a different light.
Corn Ferry was a massive hit.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. I mean, Jake and Kirk going at each other. We spoke about that on a previous breakdown. How like, if golf commentary was like that all the time, we'd watch that shit all day. Yeah, 100%.
That would make ESPN daily if that golf content was like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like right now, I just kind of want to know, like, a rundown. Like, what are you working on currently? And like, John Rich Investigates is current, in my opinion, because it just came out. I know it just, but I'm talking about like what you're doing. Like, what are you doing, even if it's not just video wise, like right now? Because like, I kind of want to know what a breakdown of Fastoolie's day is like.
Yeah, day to day for Fasoli.
It's a lot. I mean, people see me, they think stool scenes, they think all the behind the scenes shit, and that is true. I mean, I help with Barstool Chicago stool scenes currently, and whenever I'm traveling, I still do the stool scenes in New York whenever I can. But it's like, I'm kind of just spot producing, what we call that. Like, if they need help in the current office, because I mean, we're small office, but we're waiting until the new one opens, and I'm helping. Like, I'll get people set up. Like, I help Spidey record Rubbin' is Racing from time to time. I'll help set up anything. Like, that's my skill set. But like, I mostly do stool scenes still. Anything that needs edited, though, like if someone reaches out to me, I can always edit. Obviously, investigate.
Did you say set up as well? Like, you can actually like set up the equipment?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Oh yeah. Yeah, wow. He was doing it. He was doing that at the Dozen.
Jack of all
Chicago.
trades, man. God
damn.
Oh
yeah, no, I set up breakdown like when we were just at the Bolero. Like, I was there after the stream ended. I was there with the tech guys for an hour and a half plus after. We were breaking down all the equipment, but that's what I was trained to do. Like, I learned that in college. I learned that at all my production jobs, like certain like wires, certain audio equipment, like XYZ. But shout out to Tech Room guys. These guys don't get enough glory. TGA, Stanko, Stefan Duran, Steve, everyone. They are the backbone of this company.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I mentioned this in an interview prior, but I also worked in production before, like sports production. So I ran camera, I ran wire, I've done all that. And like those guys never get the light. And that's kind of the goal of like what we're doing is like, let's give some of these guys some light, some shine. I mean, don't get me wrong. If Frank the Tank comes on the pod, we're going to have him, you know? Yeah. The king. But I mean, what you guys do truly, like I said, is admirable, and it's a grind, and it's truly underappreciated. Going forward with you being in Chicago now, what is Fasolli's goal? Are you just going to keep Viva in as long as you can?
So I can't really say yet. I can't tell you guys what it is, but keep your eyes out for the new office. Going to be a big new thing. That's all I got to say.
Going to be a
big new thing, baby. Let's go.
Big new thing, and it's going to be kind of the same but very different, and it's Viva. That's all I got to say.
You just gave us the Alex Bennett Where's Graham video just now. You didn't say anything.
I swear to God, I was just going to say that was a whole lot of nothing, and I'm excited.
Well, I'm not going to get ready with me, so I can't. I can't spill the whole thing.
I get what you're saying. I
can't spill the tea, or it will ruin the whole thing.
Yeah. Are you moved to Chicago? You've had your place now for a little bit. How is it so far? How have you enjoyed the Chicago crew? Eddie, White Sox Dave, Chief, all of them.
Mm-hmm. So I was actually the first one to make the move from New York to Chicago. I've been here since May, and it's been a grind. Obviously, the move and everything. And I mean, I love those guys. The Chicago guys, like, I've worked with them over the years I've been here now. But, like, Dave's been on Rediscovering America with us. So, like, I have relationships with White Sox Dave and Eddie, and I've done the rundown. I mean, I came in and my job was the rundown in stool scenes. So, like, that's what I did every day when I was an intern to full-time. So, like, I know Eddie very well.
Okay.
Because he was always coming on. And I love that. Everyone in the Chicago office is great. And, like, now we're starting to really fill out. Like, the PMT crew just got in. Macrodosing just got in. Like, we're coming down to the line where, like, the end of the month in, like, 2 weeks, like, this is when TJ and Nick and KB, like, my boys, like, that's when they'll be out here finally. But, like, that's like, that will solidify, like, everyone in the office. Like, when we just had the big company meeting about the buyback, like, that was, you should have seen the Chicago office. It looked like there was, like, 50 people in there. But everyone was there. Titus, Brandon, everyone.
I can't believe I haven't mentioned it. And I guess because the interview is going to come out probably not, exactly timing wise where this makes perfect sense if I was like, oh, what happened the other day? But dude, the biggest news in the history of the company, maybe, I mean, Davey Pageview's back at the helm, dude. I mean, so back. I saw your tweet. You just wrote back. It was just like all the same shit that we're so used to seeing, like these brain dead idiots not showing up at the office, like that whole thing. Like when you, I think actually they said it on the Yak. They were saying that you were like physically crying when there was an interview with Dave or whatever. So what was your reaction when this was going on? Because I can't imagine you were not just in like heaven.
No, I mean, I was. I mean, it's 100% currently and now going forward, the Barstool that I grew up loving. That we all grew up loving. Like, I was 12, 13 years old when I grew up with Barstool. But, like, having 100% of, like, what Dave said in that interview with that guy that walked up on the street from him, like, we're doing everything now just to make people smile again. We're not trying to do XYZ to compete with anyone else or to make other people happy. We're going to go back to doing what Barstool is great at.
Right.
And I really feel, and I really feel like it's that exactly what you said. It was becoming a company that was going to grow and would exponentially grow if they just followed the path of a normal company. Hey, don't say, rape. Don't say, whatever other words that, we're on the Barstool Breakdown. We say whatever the fuck we want on here. But, Dave's back at the helm now, dude. It's like those things, like and it's not like, I think that was just the example on the Yak that Big Cat said. I think he was like, we could say rape now, whatever, which was not exactly probably the
we could say we're going to kill ourselves again.
Right. That was the other one too. I was like, thinking like, this is probably stuff we might have to cut here.
It's all staying in.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say we definitely just leave this shit running. That's how we do it. But it's like that type of stuff made me realize, like, as you guys get bigger, or as you were getting bigger with a company that was not Barstool, you can tell that there was a separation, especially on the Reddits and like the comments and stuff, where people would be like, oh, this is not my Barstool, and this is, or where's Dave, or there'd be all these different hashtags that they come out with and stuff. Now I've never seen, this was like when, like, and as a person from New York, this is gonna probably be distasteful for some people. This was like 9/11 for New York and for our country, almost, for Barstool, in the Barstool world. Like, 9/11 happened, our country got so together. It was like, we're gonna be together and this is it, whatever. Dave takes over. I had never seen like the comment section, Twitter, like just be taken over by stoolies, and just with like basically almost 100% love. Obviously there's going to be the haters out there, but if you know what Robert Saleh says.
No, I completely agree with you, Frank.
I mean,
it, I agree with you. I mean, it was like one of those moments where it's like almost surreal. Like, you see Dave do the emergency press conference, and like, even as a stoolie, you're like, holy fuck, we're back. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm one of those guys that started like, I was PMT for 8 years, and then I got into more of it finally. One of those. But knowing like how Dave runs the ship, like, cannonballs are all they're firing again. Like, Rico's giving them clapbacks. I don't know if you saw that today, but it was. Yeah,
I mean, guys, like, we got Carabas back on fucking Barstool Radio.
Yep.
That's unbelievable.
Example. Yeah.
Like, when I was listening to radio today and I heard Carabas's voice, I was shocked. I mean, I tweeted it. Like, that was like amazing. Like, I just started smiling when I heard Carabas come on the line again.
The first thing I got
to work with Carabas when I was an intern. I was helping produce Colin Poppy.
Oh, really?
Shout out David Ortiz. He signed when I was
hell yeah. Nice.
Fuck yeah.
I was actually listening to Barstool Radio today just with my headphones, and I wasn't like watching it, and all of a sudden I hear it, I go, is that Carabas? Of course, I know I'm saying it wrong, but that's just one of the most hilarious bits that Dave's ever done. I know he always says names wrong, but
Kevin called him
for some reason
too.
Carabas, that just pissed him off for some reason. Like, he just did not like Dave calling him that, and he just wouldn't stop. So as soon as I heard that name, I did the same thing. I smiled because I was like, Carabas?
Right.
So it's just like when he made that announcement. So the Chicago office, we all joined at the same time because we were all in the room together. When I told you there was like 50 people in the main living area, I call it, and the producers, the talent, everyone, and the way they like cut the audio to our company meeting was like a little weird. They were just like late by like a tad, or it might have been a Zoom lag. And the first thing that we heard was Dave. It popped up Dave on screen from the opening graphic, and he was like, and I bought Barstool back. Like, we missed whatever first part he said, and everyone in Chicago was like, what? Like, I looked at like Zoopy, I looked at fucking everyone, and I was like, what did he just say? And it was like
Neil had the exact same reaction. Yeah, that's what Neil was telling us, that he's like, there was like some music playing too, so it was kind of like weird and kind of like low, but we heard him say he bought back, and we were all just like, wait, what? So it's funny that you guys were all in a room together thinking the same thing, like, what the fuck?
We were looking at one TV, everyone, and everyone was like, I mean, seriously,
that's one of those moments that are going to live forever in Barstool history, though, especially like with him saying, I'm never selling it again. Because one, Penn's going to get half if he does. So,
but two, like, it really means something now. I mean, it always meant something to the guys who truly loved the company and who have been here forever and who have been following forever. But like, it truly means something because like, we get to do what we love again. And like, I've come from media sources, like John, like you said, you've been at media production jobs. Like, you can go do that every day, and you may like what you do, but like, when you truly love going in every day and like you do the thing and everything you put out makes you happy, it's like that's how I feel every day. Like, even when I was in New York City, like even though like I was in New York, I may not have loved New York City, and I'm from Boston originally, so it's like that's not like obviously a place I love, but like Barstool brought me to like the place where I walked through those glass doors every day and I just felt like at home again, even though I was 400 miles from my family. It was that. And it was like, Barstool brought me to find the love of my life. She's laying behind me. But like, it's just like, there's so much that came together. And it's seriously like, it's crazy to think like 4 or 5 years ago, I was just in my college apartment making an Instagram account and saying Barstool Boston.
Yeah.
Right.
Or anything
Right.
like that. Like,
And now you're with like all the guys you used to idolize, you know, or maybe
still
still
to this
do,
day,
but
dude.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I mean,
exactly, right.
obviously they think it's a big joke. Some of them, and I think a lot of them knew. I think a lot of them put it on for the camera. But like Dan,
Yeah.
KFC, Feidelberg, Dave, everyone, like original six, I'm talking Hank, K Marco. Like, I look up to those guys still to this day. That it's like, I'm here because of you,
Right.
and I get to create. And that came from other companies that like they don't promote creativity. Barstool Investigates, for example, we are on episode 2 now, but this was a concept that wasn't even between me and John Rich. John Rich sent an email to Hank, totally different from me. I was talking face to face across from Zupi at our desks, and I want to go, the original one about Mincy, I want to go down to Louisiana to shoot it for stool scenes. And like, it was the same concept, like go track Mincy, go follow him, this, that, but it wasn't Barstool Investigates. It wasn't nothing like that. It was just like kind of go make fun of Mincy because at that time he was popping off on Twitter. He was doing the, I mean, when Mincy pops off, it pops off, but like he was like back then, he was like going viral for something. I forget. But it was like that one weekend when he
Speed Damon.
Yeah, the Pelican head. It was like the week of the Pelican head.
Yeah, when he was doing he ripped across the bobblehead and right in front, right in the stadium, and the security guards looking at him sideways. He's like, "What the fuck's going on?"
John Rich emailed Hank the concept. We hadn't even spoken yet, like about the same idea. And I went upstairs and I was like, "Hey Hank, what do you think? Like, could I go to New Orleans for 2 days and go follow Mincy and this and that, like, and do it for stool scenes?" And Hank was like, "Are you and John Rich like on the same wavelength? Like, did he email this with you?" And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "John Rich just said the same exact thing to me." That's how Barstool Investigates started.
That's
unbelievable.
awesome. That just shows. That shows. Yeah, like you were saying, the creativity side of Barstool that they allow you to have, and it's like, you know, if you have a good idea, come to me with it because we'll send you out for it. And that's incredible that you guys were just on the same wavelength without even knowing it.
But we're both stoolies.
Yeah,
that's what I was just gonna say. It brings us back to the first question. You know, it was like you guys went from stoolies to becoming employees, and like as a stoolie. That's why I put this show out, dude. I don't really know, you know, people can say shitty comments about it if they want to. I put it out because the people that want to listen to it, and they say nice things. Yeah, exactly.
I love
authentic, bro. Like I was just saying the same. You were just talking about you walk into the office and you're like, "Oh, I'm home," and whatever. I was just telling Jonathan, I get anxiety about this show sometimes because I'm like, "Oh shit, I don't have enough notes on this," or my kids are doing this and I missed this show and da da da. I actually like that though, because I'm like, well, fuck, we're talking about Barstool though. So like, I'll figure it out, like whatever. And like, I'm up late as hell and I got to wake up early and I'm like, whatever, dude. Like I had a good fucking night. It was fun, you know, like whatever. Like, I'm just like doing this with you right now. Like, you know, this is just to me, it's just building relationships with people that are the same. You know what I mean? Like I said, you come visit, you know, I'm not going to say where, but where I live, obviously I take you out, we go, you know what I mean? Like, it's so cool that like to even talk to people and you're like, oh shit, you're like, you know, you have family here, or, oh, we're just like each other with this thing, you know? So just seeing like you and John Rich work together, like kind of makes me like, not say that like me and Jonathan are just going to go off and be the next two, you know, popping off at Barstool, but it's like, it just shows me like, stoolies can do this shit too. You know what I mean?
100%.
Even if this show never goes to Barstool and we just do this by ourselves for 100 years, great, dude. Like my goal with this show was to be consistent. You can, Jonathan and a bunch of people on Stoolie Wednesday can be fucking contest to that. I said, I want to film this show every week and put it out. Whatever happens, happens. And right now, it's doing pretty well, man. We're getting some good people on here and I'm excited, you know, so
I love it.
Rant over.
I mean, that's what I told you before. I got hired because I recreated the rundown for my college TV program. We had a YouTube page. I did 65 episodes that probably each episode maybe got 15 to 20 views. But guess
Yeah,
what? I was doing it because the love of the game.
Yeah, no, I mean
Yeah.
I don't want to suck my own dick here, but like
Please.
we've got like 580 on the Che
There
one,
you
we got
go.
500
That's
on
great.
TJ, we got
Yeah.
100 and something subscribers now. Like we're on our way, you know what I
Love
mean? I keep telling Frankie, I was like, it's as long as we're consistent and putting this shit out, like
That's what you
we're
gotta be,
gonna be
consistent.
just fine. Yeah, yeah,
Consistency is king. And for
Yeah.
all the viewers out there who say, I'll leave you guys off with this one. For all the viewers out there who say they've never seen my eyes before,
Oh shit! What the fuck is that?
I kind
I
of
probably look
want to.
fucking crazy, but
Yeah, hold on. I want us all to do. Let's all hit a Fastoolie smile.
I was gonna say,
in this
you
one.
know that we're gonna have to do a screenshot of the face for the
Yeah.
graphic. There's
Yeah,
just
that's
no
gonna be
other
the
way to go
graphic. We
about
gotta
it.
hit it. Am I doing it right?
I don't know. How can we tell?
There's
Your
no-
eyes
there's
have to
no
be
doing-
close.
I don't know.
hey, there's no doing it right. You just smile. That's all you gotta do.
All right. Well,
I think I'm gonna
Fasoli-
caption that the Viva smile, bro. That's just gotta
It
be
is
it.
the Viva smile. It's the OG Viva smile. Everyone knows that smile. He's got his own fucking emoji. It's so popular. But Fasoli, I can't thank you enough for coming on, brother. We
appreciate you, boy.
appreciate you, man. I mean, you inspire us all to Viva as hard as we can, man,
No, I
because we see
appreciate
how
that.
much you
Seriously.
enjoy the job. We see how much you like put into it and how much you actually care about the
Thank you.
product you're putting out.
I hope my work influences many people, not just you guys, not just people out there who are maybe they hate their job day to day, people who want to chase a dream and like maybe they loved filming at one point in their life and they gave it up to go to college and do something else. Anything like young producers, young videographers, anything like that. Take a chance. Shoot something. Go shoot with your buddies, go shoot with your friends. Make something. Like it doesn't matter if you think it's great or not. I just tweeted that tonight. Fuck everyone who judges you. That's literally the way I lived my entire life. People could
Hell
judge me. People could make fun of me because I love XYZ. Those are also the people that slide into my DMs now saying, you have the coolest job in the world.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
you can never let ego get in the way.
No,
That's
I
right.
grinded through college and made it here, made it there because I loved what I did and I loved one thing, and that was Barstool. And people used to call me the Barstool boy. People called me this XYZ, and they judged me. And then those are the people trying to hit me up today. That's what I'm getting at. So do
Hell
what
yeah.
you love, and it will all work out in the end.
Appreciate
Fuck
it,
yeah, dude. I
Fasoli.
love that. Well,
Mhm.
appreciate your time. There's
course.
no other way that I could end this interview without Viva.
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 Hell yeah.
Viva.
Get it going, boys.
Appreciate you, brother. Have a good night, man.
One love.